This video will give you a quick demo of Futrli Predict and how it's going to help you run your business, run a predicted business, no less. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we are. So once your data has synced and you've pulled in your cloud accounting package information, Predict has gone off and it's done a load of things. And I'm going to talk you through those first. So the first thing I'm going to actually take you to is your invoices area. This is where you'll see all of your due invoices and bills for your customers and suppliers. These are the ones that haven't been paid yet. They aren't draft invoices because they don't really exist. They're something that you're playing with. They are real invoices and bills that are already in your profit and loss and in your accounts receivable and accounts payable. If you know that you can sort them by expected date, by status, by what's due, but if you know that they are going to be paid on a different date, because this is when the system thinks that they're going to get paid, you can edit the date of them here, or in the most extreme cases, you can exclude them from your cash flow here. And you will see that your daily cash balance, your predicted cash balance, updates automatically. So if I go back to the home screen, one thing that I do need to show you is that you can scroll backwards or hit the back button and you'll see all of the historicals for your organization. This is the cloud accounting information that you've got. And likewise, we can go forward in the same manner. So I'm going to bring us to here and we're going to have a look at sales, cost of sales and expenses. The first thing that I'm going to do is show you our predictor and the types of predictions that we're creating in Futrli Predict. By opening up shop sales, you'll notice that, I'll open up this one as well, that we've got every single account has got a predicted row, and that's come from hundreds of thousands, often algorithms that have happened in the background by looking at your data and identifying trends, seasonality, volume, frequency, payment behaviors, all of the things that really it's too difficult for you to do. So it'll let us do the hard work for you. Now, if I hit the predicted cell for September 2021, you'll see that the prediction assistant opens up and explains what's happening. I'm going to zoom in on this very quickly so that we can read this nice and easily. So it's telling you, rather than it being a black box of information, just believe the computer and what it's done, it's telling you that the account looks fairly stable. So we've taken a 2-year average. There was an increase of 1.2% on the account over the last 12 months compared to the previous 12, and we've predicted this to continue next year. There aren't any journals for this account, but what I will do is just go and show you where a journal and what that would mean if we've detected one of those. So in this instance, rent has prepayments happening to it in the accounting package. So if I click this here, again, we can see there's no transactions, but in the journal side, let's make it bigger. We're detecting that monthly journals in this account, and I'm projecting £6,000. Now that could be dollars. It'll pull through the currency of your source cloud accounting package at the end of each month, and this is being transferred to rent payables. So if we then go to the balance sheet, so we're going to go to the financial section, because one very important thing about Predict is that it's not just about cash flow. It's not about just your gross cash flow. This is your entire business. So you'll see that we've got a profit and loss has been generated. Again, scroll backwards. You can see historical reports for this as well for reference. But you've got your gross profits being calculated, your net profits being calculated. And if we go to the balance sheet, you'll see in the current liabilities section, in this instance, we've got our rent prepayments here. So this is the other side of that journal that you saw. Yep, it's being posted correctly. But actually what's happened here, the reason that journal's been created probably by the bookkeeper or accountant in this instance is because the payments are happening quarterly, but we need to show it as a monthly expense. So this has been done automatically. The system's picked it up and it's posted it correctly. However, one very important thing that you can do in Predict is that you can create your own predictions. So if I turn this one off and I go to the profit and loss and I turn off the expense line for that as well, What will have happened is that £18,000 cash impact has disappeared. It's gone. It's gone from the bank account. And so if we go back to the home screen, you will see that, oh, look, we've got lots of green that's happened there. You know, you might be working from home more as an organization. You know, that's a very quick way for you to be able to play around with different scenarios, understand the cash impact of making those decisions, and make it here, de-risking it before you actually make it in the real world. What else have we got? Well, if we look at sales, you'll notice that for each one of these tabs, and if you go to the profit and loss, exactly the same applies. Each one of them has got two different options, two different views. You've got, if we stick on the expenses tab for just now, we've got the activity. So that's all of the predictions, net of any sales tax. And we've also got when those things are going to get paid, because unfortunately, it sometimes means in your organization that you're not getting paid for things on the day that you sell it. And equally, you don't necessarily want to pay for things on the same day that you purchase them. So you've got both views of those things. And again, you've got a daily cash view from a chart perspective to see exactly where those spikes are. So two different views, lots of predictions happening, invoices happening. So it's 5-way forecasting, profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, invoices and bills, and automatic predictions using your historical data. If you want to overlay your own assumptions, so say you want to say, well, actually, in the case of wedding sales for Josie, I'm quite happy for you to keep the predictions going, but I know that I'm going to do some marketing activity and I want to increase my sales lines because I've got some additional weddings that I'm going to sell. Well, in this case, if I hit the edit, the change the net amount, we've got three different options. So this is a freestyle. Actually, if I hit add, you can see we've got a freestyle option, which is typing in your numbers, which is what you can see below. We've got repeating option, which I'll show you in a second. And we've got unit-based option as well. So if I decide that actually the right wedding, it was going to be quoted at £4,000, but actually the deposit's now only £3,000, I hit yes, that's fine, and it will all update automatically. So the invoice amount will update and the cash position will update. The settings area is where the cash side is. Activity is going to be stored on the last day of the month. 20% VAT as default has been set up for this one. I'm going to show you the settings in a second. And on the cash impact, it's going to get paid on the same day. So both of those transactions, the £3,000 and £4,000, are being paid on the last day of the month. However, the diamond wedding, for instance, if I change those settings, this has been set up as a repeating prediction. So £3,000 are being repeated once, so that'll give you two values monthly. You've got various different options here where you can create repeating patterns as you need to for your business. You choose the first date of that invoice. If you need to increase or decrease by an amount or a percentage, you can do. Again, the default rate for sales tax has been pulled through from settings. And we've also got the second side of the coin, which you saw beforehand, is the cash impact. When's it going to get paid? Well, actually, I don't want it to get paid on the same day. In this instance, it could either be a contract that you set up that's got maybe 14-day or 30-day credit terms, or you might want to say, well, actually, I want 50% paid up front on day 0, and I want the rest of it paid 30 days afterwards. So you can split the payments out. You might be needing to pay things over a 12-month period. Again, you can do that. A final note on the journal on the payment types, that sometimes you want to make transfers between accounts. This will be typically your accountant or bookkeeper doing this, but you might want to do it too. So if it's not hitting the bank account, and again, this is where that rent prepayment, you could mimic that if you wanted to here. So we're going to go to the split payments, and I'm going to update it. And then if we go to the cash collected view, well, we'll see exactly how that plays out. So we've got the diamond one, we've now got that split out on day 0 and day 30, day 0 and day 30. So it's come through as one would expect to see it. We've also got any of those unpaid invoices that are sitting there. So if you change any of those dates, you'll be able to see exactly where they land in which period. The next thing that I'm going to do is that was your basic guide. But if you want to stay on this video and learn a little bit more about settings and little tips and tricks for how to use Predict, that's the next phase of this video.